This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, COVID cases continue to rise as cases pop up in southern schools and police warn partying students. Dunedin's Ocho Chocolate closes the doors to its factory shop and tours as a health precaution. And helicopter pilots from the Royal New Zealand Air Force fly high for some mountain rescue training. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. New Zealand's daily COVID-19 cases continue to climb today, with a record 1,929 cases added to the tally, including 77 in the southern DHB area. The new cases bring the total in the south to 202, according to figures from the Ministry of Health. More than 32,000 COVID tests have been done in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, Dunedin police have described a large student party last night as blatant stupidity after locations of interest were confirmed in Castle and Howe Streets. COVID-19 is now spreading through schools with cases in Dunedin's Carisbrook, Bradford and Otago Boys High Schools and a possible close contact at Balmacewen Intermediate. At Queenstown's Wakatipu High School, there are 44 students and 4 teachers identified so far as close contacts. The Southern District Health Board is desperately trying to recruit new nurses. The DHB needs extra nursing staff to cover both normal health care and to prepare for the growing impact of COVID-19. A fortnight ago, the Health Board took the unusual step of transferring patients for post-operative care to another hospital. That was due to a lack of available staff, with some individual wards being understaffed by about a dozen nurses. The Southern DHB says recruitment challenges are compounded by border restrictions. And adding to the Health Board's woes is an impending nationwide strike of thousands of health workers, including COVID contact tracers and laboratory staff. They're set to strike over low pay, poor working conditions and equal treatment compared to other health professions. The potential threat of Omicron infecting staff has forced Dunedin's Ocho Chocolate to close its doors to the public. The local company originally planned to just close during the week, but has now decided to extend the closure to weekends as well.
Closed to the public, Dunedin's Ocho Chocolate Company is no longer open for public tours of the factory or for the over-counter purchases at the shop due to the threat of Omicron. General Manager Angela Howe says the decision was made to protect factory workers at the small craft chocolate company from COVID-19.
Because if this becomes a location of interest, then they'll have to go into self-isolation and we'd lose a couple of weeks' production. And we're just not in a position to be able to do that at the moment. The
decision was made to ensure the factory team can keep busy manufacturing chocolate bars and products, building stock back up after strong sales over the festive season.
And we had a really busy Christmas and we're still building up reserves after Christmas. So at the moment, if we were to shut, if the factory were to shut, we have a severe impact on our business. Whereas if we have 2 months finished supply on the shelf, we could shut without it being such a big deal.
But chocolate lovers don't have to worry, with manufacturing continuing as normal. Ocho's range of products is still available to buy outside of the factory shop.
If you are wanting to buy chocolate, obviously you can't come down to the factory, but you can go to ocho.co.nz and you can either order online there, or if you want to support your local retailers, I'm sure they would like you to, you can find our stockists online as well.
Ocho is hoping to reopen its doors to the public once the threat of Omicron has eased. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The Waitaki District Council is frustrated with motorists who are driving down closed roads while work is being carried out. Repairs began earlier this week on a sinkhole created by a burst culvert pipe on Iredale Road, west of Oamaru. Despite road closure signs to warn motorists, vehicles are still driving up the road to the work site. With reports some people are being aggressive to workers. An 8-metre deep hole has been dug into the road to replace the large broken concrete pipe. The Waitaki District Council says driving down closed roads is dangerous for both workers and motorists. The overall repair work is set to cost more than $200,000, but it's hoped the new pipe will last more than 100 years. Flying at high altitudes in support of rescue operations requires special skills and training. And for helicopter pilots from the Royal New Zealand Air Force, the mountains in the South Island are quite a bit different from those found near their central North Island base.
Mountain flying is always an adventure. Flying Officer Hayley Vincent from Christchurch is newly qualified as an NH90 pilot. But the steep, rugged mountains around the Wairau Valley in Marlborough are quite a bit different from those she's used to flying in near her base at Ahakia.
I've done a bit of mountain flying in the NH90 while I was on conversion course. But that was up in sort of the North Island, Tauruas and Ruahines, which aren't quite as impressive as the South Island mountains, so there's a little bit of a difference with the Southern Alps.
She's taking part in Exercise Blackbird, the annual 3-squadron training activity. It's aimed at training helicopter crews in high altitude flying and preparing them for search and rescue support roles in the mountains. But the sheer beauty of the South Island mountains still makes the experience of flying there a rare opportunity for the pilots.
I think the coolest thing would be just being able to pick a spot that's, you know, stunning, that would take you days to walk to if you didn't have a helicopter, and just sort of approach to it and park up and be sitting on the ground beside like a beautiful blue lake or a clear tarn or something. It feels like you're at the top of the world.
The NH90 helicopter pilots and crews are based at the Air Force's camp at Dit Flat in the Wairau Valley, with training set to continue in the region for another week. In Blenheim, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. We check out finalists in the Designers Institute of New Zealand Best Design Awards from Otago Polytechnic, and Otago University joins forces with ESR for an ambitious education project.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including Little Bobs.
Spark your joy with jazz, the next generation from Honda.
The big one. My mate John's having a sale. 20 to 80% off everything. Shop in store or online with click and collect or contact-free delivery.
My mate John.
Hi there. Guess who? Do you recognise the eyes? Oh, okay. It's a haircut. Anyway, it's Lindsay here from Campbell's Menswear. Our 3 stores are carrying on as usual. Despite what's happening in the world, we have got some great stock for you. Personally, I've spent 50 years in this business and we have some excellent supplier relationships. We've got great stock, it's hand-picked, it's here, it's on time, and it's ready for the great summer.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So, as my favourite cut says, keep calm and carry on.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. Every day the team at Gillian's supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Welcome back. Reaction is growing to an alleged racist attack at Otago Girls High School after a video of the incident was spread on social media. The attack by 3 students on a group of Muslim girls has been described as racially motivated and Islamophobic. The video shows Huda Al-Jamal having her hijab forcibly removed before being assaulted by a group of teens. An online petition calling for action by Otago Girls High School has already been signed by more than 45,000 people. Personalities including former Prime Minister Helen Clark and sportsman Sonny Bill Williams have added their voices to the Justice for Huda campaign, along with international model Bella Hadid. The school says the 3 alleged offenders have been identified and an investigation of the incident was underway. A familiar sea lion and her pup have been on the move around Dunedin beaches and have now turned up at Tomahawk Beach. The mother named Hirura and her 6-week-old pup were roaming around the quiet beach yesterday afternoon. Last week the pair were exploring Chisholm Park golf links after crossing John Wilson Ocean Drive and visiting the beach at Lawyer's Head, where the pup had its first swim. Dock rangers are regularly checking on the pair and signage has been put up to make people aware of sea lions in the area. About 20 pups are expected to have been born around Dunedin and Otago Peninsula this year. 8 projects from the Otago Polytech School of Design are finalists in the Designers Institute of New Zealand Best Design Awards, being held tonight. The nominations cover a range of disciplines, including architecture, fashion, and even a new piece of COVID-19 breathing apparatus.
Heading out of town to the Designers Institute of New Zealand Best Design Awards is usually a big occasion for Otago Polytech staff and students. However, finalists this year will be watching from their computers tonight, with the annual awards ceremony moving online.
Unfortunately, in previous years we would all have gone up for the awards and it would be a big celebration. Now, because of COVID-19, we have to just have a small private celebration.
8 projects connected to the Polytech's School of Design are represented at this year's awards. Head of College of Te Maru Pumanawa, Professor Federico Freschi, says staff and students are among world leaders in several design fields, with an item which is set to help rehabilitate COVID-19 patients.
How is it in there, Carla?
And in fact, one of our nominees this year is our staff member Andrew Wallace and William Early, with a ventilator hood that they designed for COVID-19 patients.
The Designers Institute Best Design Awards are an annual showcase of excellence in graphic, spatial, product, interactive and motion design. Otago Polytech is also represented in the communication category, including an innovative music clip for Dunedin hip-hop act Merc Lady. The Polytech's School of Fashion is also a finalist, with Professor Margot Barton's entry Fashion Forward, Disruption Through Design, which was a collaborative exhibition with Otago Museum.
I think the design community globally is very interested in what's going on around the world, so whatever gets, the things that get awarded here that are interesting and highly visible projects will attract attention from elsewhere, there's no doubt. Yeah.
Professor Freschi is confident the School of Design team will do well at tonight's awards, with Otago Polytech CEO Megan Gibbons describing the list of finalists as an outstanding achievement. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Otago University has partnered with ESR in the rather ambitious project goal of educating young people about genomic sequencing. Staff from Otago University helped contribute towards this animated video, working alongside the Institute of Environmental Science and Research and Māori Studios Aotearoa. Featuring a plucky tui, a robotic assistant and an elderly Māori scientist, the video is aimed at educating tamariki about the role of genomic sequencing in the management of COVID-19. ESR says the complicated subject has been pushed firmly into the public domain during the COVID-19 pandemic. Wanaka-based brothers Nico and Miguel Porteous are both set to compete in tomorrow's free skiing finals at the Winter Olympics in Beijing. 20-year-old Nico, who is the reigning World and X Games champion, qualified in second place after a spectacular final run yesterday. Nico is now tipped to add another medal to the bronze he won in the same event 4 years ago. His older brother, 22-year-old Miguel, qualified 9th out of the 12 who will go on to Saturday's finals. 16-year-old Wanaka local Gustav Levinsky missed out on the finals, finishing 19th, but as the younger member of the New Zealand team, has plenty of future chances ahead of him. Still to come after the break, we take a look at the weekend's weather for you.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Livingwell Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
The big one. My mate John's having a sale. 20 to 80% off everything. Shop in store or online with click and collect or contact-free delivery. You name it, John's got it in stock and ready to go. The big one. Only at John's Furniture Warehouse, Stafford Street, and online at www.mymatejohn.co.nz.
Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street. And my mate John.
Welcome back. 240 tonnes of sand has been dumped in Christchurch's Cathedral Square as part of the annual New Zealand Beach Tour volleyball tournament. The annual event kicked off this morning with qualifying rounds and is set to continue through the weekend, with Commonwealth Games spots at stake.
Sand, sun and tan bodies have filled Cathedral Square, with beach volleyball players from across the country bumping, blocking and bunting their way through the qualifying heats. Christchurch is hosting a round of the New Zealand Beach Tour volleyball tournament. Hot weather making the atmosphere beach-like as players battled each other in the makeshift arena, which took 3 40-hour days to set up.
So we've dumped a whole bunch of sand to really bring beach volleyball to the people, bring it into the city centres, and that's happening worldwide, where the public are being able to witness beach volleyball in a man-made environment, and it just creates a different atmosphere and so much fun.
But along with the fun, top players are competing to qualify for the 2020 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in July.
All of the top players are chasing one position, and so we expect it to be really tight amongst the men. There are 4 teams with a realistic chance of qualifying for the Com Games. New Zealand has already qualified a spot in the men and the women. In the women's division, there are effectively 2 very strong contenders for that spot. So a lot at stake for the players.
The Canterbury 5-star event is the 4th stop of the 2020 Beach Tour, which continues on to Mount Maunganui and Auckland in March for the remaining games.
We're really pleased to be in Christchurch again this year. We expect to be back next year. The council's been so supportive, giving us the permissions to work in the city.
With admission free, the public are encouraged to watch the competition, which continues over the weekend. Semi-finals will be played at Cathedral Square on Saturday, with the finals set to tip off early on Sunday morning. In Christchurch, the South today.
Dunedin rally driver Emma Gilmore is set to make history tomorrow New Zealand time. She signed to McLaren Racing last year and will take the wheel as the team's first female driver in the season opener in Dubai.
Emma Gilmore is a long way from home and set to blaze another trail for women in motorsport. She'll become the first female driver for the McLaren team when she drives in the opening event of the Extreme E Series on Saturday.
Standing here in the middle of the desert, in the middle of our course for this weekend. As you can see, the scenery is absolutely spectacular, and the course looks like it's going to be a huge amount of fun, so really excited about getting the weekend underway.
Taking part in the traditional course walkthrough, Gilmore was clearly blown away by the location. She'll be sharing the drive with American teammate Tanner Faust, just after arriving in Saudi Arabia.
Sunset's on another good day here in Saudi, in Neom. Pretty spectacular scenery. We both got to drive today, Tanner and I, on a bit of a battery test shakedown course, which was great. And we've done heaps of driver change practices, which we're getting down to a fine art. So tomorrow is our first view of the track, which we're both very excited about.
The Extreme E Series features electric motor racing SUVs and has sustainability at the heart of its philosophy. The scenery again taking her breath away.
We had a legacy project with Extreme E out in Neom and learned about rewilding and regreening in the areas, and now we're just back to the pits, but there's such spectacular scenery here, and all the photos I take, it just doesn't do it justice. But
the team of Gilmore and Faust is set to line up against a number of other world-famous racing drivers for their first competitive race of the new series this weekend. In Dunedin, the South today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. COVID cases continue to rise across the country as cases pop up in southern schools, and police warn students of the dangers of mass parties. Dunedin's Ocho Chocolate has closed the doors to its factory shop and tours as a health precaution to try and ensure manufacturing can continue. And helicopter pilots from the Royal New Zealand Air Force have been flying high at the top of the South Island, training for mountain rescue operations. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Associate Editor Joe. What have you got for us tomorrow?
A petition for calling for action after the alleged racist attack at Otago Girls High School has attracted support from an international model, an ex-Prime Minister and an ex-All Black. After being disturbed more than once in the last 140 years, there's now hope that a central Otago gold mine will be finally laid to rest. And the power of the press. Read how a chef was stitched up by a work colleague by a classified ad, receiving the first phone call about 8 a.m. from a stranger asking him to come and mow their lawns.
Wonderful. So you can catch all of that in tomorrow's ODT. And now it's time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with today's southern view, taken of the Hotel California North Dunedin flat, complete with 2 guitars and a surfboard. A trough of low pressure will move over the region tomorrow with a period of widespread rain in the morning and colder southerly airflow developing. Rain and showers will clear later in the day and mostly fine Sunday lies ahead. Heading to the centres now, and it's a wet start to the weekend for the northwest of the South Island. Both Greymouth and Westport see rain tomorrow with Greymouth on 21 and Westport 19. And it's mostly sunny in the northeast with Nelson reaching 22 and Blenheim 24 with the occasional cloud. And moving along to the Canterbury coast, it's a wet start to the weekend for Cantabrians. Kaikoura reaches 23 with scattered showers, Christchurch 24 and rain, Ashburton rain 2 with 23 degrees. Looking at what's in store for the southern towns, for the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore, rain clears tomorrow with decreasing southwesterlies and a high of 15 degrees for all in the centre. Moving to the Central Lakes, Wanaka, Queenstown can all expect rain to ease tomorrow with moderate southeasterlies. Looking at highs of 16 or 17, and it's similar in Te Anau with decreasing southwesterlies and a cool of 14 degrees. Heading further north along the coast, Timaru will see southerlies and a rainy day tomorrow with 23 degrees. In Oamaru, southerlies begin to die out and rain eases with a high of 17. Moving inland to Taizo and Amarama, rain eases here also with southerlies later on and 19 degrees. In Dunedin, cloudy with northerly winds tonight and an overnight low of 15. Tomorrow morning, rain develops with light winds at first, followed by colder southerlies and rain heavy for a start, then easing to showers later in the day and winds decreasing. A high of 16 and a low of 5. On Sunday, cloud breaks and long sunny periods develop with breezy northeasterlies later on, looking at a high of 18 and a low of 9. And in Invercargill, rain tonight with northerlies dying out and an overnight low of 14 degrees. Periods of rain and fresh cold southwesterlies at first tomorrow, easing to showers and lighter winds during the morning, with showers clearing during the afternoon, a high of 14 and a low of 5. And it's fine on Sunday with mostly sunny skies and light easterlies, a high of 18 and a low of 9. And that's the news this Friday and indeed the week. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 and on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira, kia pai te pou, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.